Top story tonight, Louisville's police chief says this bulletproof vest saved an officer's life. The man accused of firing the shot in a park after a community event remains in the hospital tonight.
And this is the officer's shattered cell phone in front of the bulletproof vest. Police say Herbert Lee pulled the trigger yesterday after the Dirt Bowl basketball tournament in Shawnee Park.
We got shots fired. Please stay back.
This is cell phone footage from the scene yesterday at Shawnee Park. We're told Lee was wanted on 12 charges from 3 outstanding cases, including weapons violations and theft. He was already a felon, so he couldn't legally have a gun. Officers saw Lee at the basketball tournament and approached him at the end of the tournament. Chief Shields says that's when Lee took off, stumbled, pulled out a gun, and shot an officer before officers shot back. Both Lee and the officer are expected to survive. In fact, we're told the officer is out of the hospital. Some criticized LMPD for shots fired in a park, but Chief Shields supports the officer's actions.
These officers have an obligation to enforce the law. They waited until the Dirt Bowl was over. They wanted to get, the folks out of there before they took him into custody. The reality of it is he didn't have to shoot them.
And Herbert Lee is no stranger to police. WDRB's Conroy Deluche looked into the 4 deaths and 14 years of crimes on his rap sheet. Conroy?
Herbert Lee killed 4 teens in a crash at the end of a police chase. They were passengers. He was giving them a ride home from a church event, and they had no idea the car was even stolen. That was December 2008. Now age 30, Lee spent nearly half his life in and out of Louisville's jail.
It's just something I gotta live with. An accident I done caused the death of 4 boys, and it's something I'm gonna have to live with, and it eats me every day.
Herbert Lee was released from jail after serving less than 3 years. Lee promised to turn his life around. He even visited the memorial dedicated to the 4 victims as a free man.
It's really not something you can explain. Because at the moment, the case was a terrible case to happen. I don't wish nobody to have nothing like that.
In July 2012, just months after his release, Lee was once again in the headlines, accused of stealing a car again. Mark Hampton, the father of 3 of the 2008 crash victims, spoke with WDRB after Lee's probation was revoked.
He seemed sincere at the time, and maybe he'll be sincere in the future, but right now he doesn't.
Lee, just 20 years old,
you are charged with receiving stolen property.
Eventually pleaded guilty to receiving stolen property and was released in November 2013. Then, just 3 months later, in February 2014, he was arrested again for stealing a car. Lee was also accused of kicking a patrol car's window. He pleaded guilty in October of that year. In January 2019, Lee was back inside a jail cell. Police say he posted an ad for a car on Facebook, then robbed a 15-year-old interested in the deal. That case was dismissed. Then just last month, a probation violation in relation to a 2020 domestic violence case, where police say Lee strangled a woman. Fast forward to Sunday in Shawnee Park. Now a man wanted on a dozen charges. Lee was approached by LMPD officers, a night that ended with gunshots. According to LMPD, Lee had warrants out for 3 cases, a total of 12 charges. A few of those: possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, theft, violating probation, wanton endangerment, and violating an emergency protective order. Conroy Deluche, WDRB News.